What is going on, my YouTube family? Sergeant Greybeard at Greybeard Gaming Group. Today is Tuesday, September 8th, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. If you happen to be new to our channel, hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family, and if you enjoyed this or found it helpful, please hit that like button. It really does help us out. One thing we have at our channel are giveaways, and as you can see, we are currently having one for an Xbox One S or a PlayStation 4 Pro. All you need to do to enter is subscribe to our channel here, or you can follow us on Twitter. Either way is fine, and we'll be announcing the winner on November 5th of this year. As always, keep in mind that watching our content is not a requirement to win. We only want you watching things here that you may enjoy, and that's why we give you the option of entering the contest via Twitter. Having said that, let's get into today's video. As we begin, I want to take a quick second and thank you all for the continued support to this channel. You know, we just turned 5 months old. We're about to crack 3,000 subscribers within the next few days, and it's absolutely it's incredible what you guys have done. I know I've said this before, but how you've welcomed us into the Division 2 community has been amazing. Now, we will be covering a lot of other games coming up soon. Assassin's Creed, Cyberpunk. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. We're going to have giveaways for those as well. But again, this is where we started, and we are forever thankful. Like I've said numerous times before, I am completely committed to this game, so now we're at the point where we need to see if Title Update 11 can live up to certain hopes, and more importantly, bring a player base back to the game itself. Now, our original plan was to put out a build video today. However, since we've gotten so many questions in regards to the PTS, we wanted to take some time and answer those today. Not only that, but since there are going to be certain gear changes coming up in TU11, we don't want to put something together that's going to change within the next week and a half, 2 weeks, so we're going to probably hold off on that. Now, all we've gotten up to this point are the patch notes for the PTS. That is not an indication of what is going to happen when Title Update 11 launches, so hopefully we'll get an idea of what is going to be changing soon, and as soon as we do, we'll bring it to you. Hopefully tomorrow we may have more information in regards to that, but for right now we want to talk about loot quality and is there a difference that you can really see in Title Update 11. Now the gameplay you're seeing on the screen is from the PTS, and I'm just running control points on Challenging and Heroic. The entire point of doing this was to check the quality of loot, so you can see him on Challenging right now. Right out of the gate, I did notice the quality was better, however, there weren't that many things that dropped. Now keep in mind, this is a small sample size. We're going to be running some missions later in the week. We'll bring you that footage as well, but so far what we've seen, there has been a definite improvement with what we found. And that's actually something I want to get into real quick because a lot of gamers are on that fence between can they do challenging solo and can they do heroic solo. So a lot of people are capable of doing challenging, but heroic on their own is where it gets a little tough. So going back to Title Update 10, one of the major things that they talked about changing was the quality of loot, not only with getting exotics to drop, but the actual quality itself, certain percentages that should drop depending on the difficulty. Now, I personally have seen that change happen, but again, one of the things they mentioned was that there's a much larger, percentage change when it comes to heroic than to any other difficulty. So now I'm running the same control point on heroic. Now, heroic gear is definitely better. However, there were certain pieces in challenging that actually compared to the ones that I'm getting now. And that just has to do with the percentage overall. Again, I know they keep changing how they describe it, but the point is it's all getting better. Now, one thing that did happen is I ran into 2 rogue agents here, and that turned out to be a total jackpot. And in regards to rogue agents, this is something I hope they can implement moving forward. Each one of these agents dropped a completely maxed out item. And in my opinion, that should be happening if you encounter a rogue agent on challenging or higher. One of the next questions that a lot of gamers asked us over the weekend is what is the deal with the summit in regards to matchmaking and targeted loot, and as far as what's a checkpoint, what's a rally point, all that stuff. So we're going to begin with talking about checkpoints versus rally points. So rally points take place every 10 levels. So every 10 floors you clear, you can then start from that floor moving forward. And by the way, check out that drop right there. That was from one of the rogue agents. I mean, come on, man. That's what we're talking about. That's what we all need. Anyway, getting back to rally points. That's what a rally point is every 10 floors you have the ability to start at that floor when you log in. Next thing we're going to cover are checkpoints. Now, checkpoints happen during your gameplay and they take place every 3 floors. We heard from a bunch of people asking, so you're telling me if I start on floor 20 and we all die on floor 28, I have to go back to floor, 20 again? The answer is no. So we're just going to use floors 20 through 30 as an example. Every 3 floors, like I said, there's a checkpoint. So if you get to floor 23, you're good to that point. And I mean, let's say if you die on floor 24 or 25, you jump back down to 23. You do not need to go all the way back down to 20. And like I said, this happens every 3 floors, so at floors 23, 26, and 29, those are your little mini checkpoints, but again, it's only during that current gameplay. Therefore, if you get to floor 30 and you're defeated, you just go back to floor 29, you don't have to go all the way back to 26 or down to the bottom, any of that stuff. The next thing we're going to get into in regards to the summit is matchmaking and how it works. Now, the problem is for me at least, during the PTS, matchmaking was a hot mess. It took me forever to find a group. Now, I had made it from floors 1 through 20 on my own, which means I went through normal and hard difficulty, so I had the ability to do matchmaking for challenging. Now, when I was finally put into a group, keep in mind I had not done floors 20 or above, and the group they put me in, all of the players were at floor 34. We were able to make it to floor 40, which is another rally point, so that meant from that moment on, I could start all of my gameplay from floors 40 and up. I know we've heard from a lot of gamers saying, we should have the ability to choose what difficulty we want right out of the gate. However, at this point, you have to do floors 1 through 100 at least once so you can get to that top, tier in regards to difficulty. However, like I mentioned, I skipped almost 20 floors entirely because I was put in a group that was at a higher level than I was. So that is definitely a possibility as you move forward. I mean, to be honest, it sounds a little more complicated than it needs to be. It's really not. It's a simple system that they kind of want you to follow. I think most of the complaints are coming from people saying, I don't want to waste my time doing normal and hard difficulty. I want to do challenging and above. And as we move on, one thing we want to talk about as well, which we will go into more detail tomorrow, is the replayability of this actual game mode, because a lot of people there's been a lot of feedback in regards to this. The main point being, once the entire point of doing Skyscraper is to get that exotic chess piece, which is Ridgeway's Pride. Now, we're lucky enough in the PTS to get to test them out, and I'm telling you, the body armor is sick. It's definitely worth the grind, but once you get that, is this, gameplay going to keep people coming back? Like I said a moment ago, we will get into that more tomorrow after the state of the game, but right now we just want to talk about targeted loot and how it relates to the summit. So right now, just like every other location on your map when you open it up, in regards to targeted loot, the summit has 1 loot for the entire building. Now, in my opinion, and we have heard this from a lot of other gamers as well, that is something that definitely needs to change or should change before Title Update 11 is actually launched. And the reason I say that is this. When you look at the map, let's say in DC, you have an option of doing different missions, different control points, things like that, depending on what you're looking for. However, the summit is a standalone style of gameplay, so a lot of people may just want to run that mode. And only having one type of item, only having one type of targeted loot for that day could easily dictate whether people log in or not, depending on, what's going to be dropping. Now, there have happened to have been so many great ideas put online from different content creators and gamers and stuff like that. And do me a favor, any ideas that you have, please leave below. And I mean, as we end this video, that's what this is all about. It's about us as a community giving our input to the developers and hoping that they actually listen to the majority of the community, not just a small portion. And look, there's so much stuff that's going to be happening over the next few weeks in regards to this game. We're going to have to see what is nerfed, what is buffed, what is changed, all those different things. And I know how many of us feel. I mean, I'm in that boat as well. I feel like our voices aren't really listened to when it comes to certain aspects of this gameplay. But again, it is the major issue, I think, is that it's moving forward, but at a snail's pace. And I know many people out there feel like, what is the point? The devs don't listen. And you have every reason to believe that, because a lot of the time we feel that the majority is just like, meh, okay, yeah, we'll maybe get to that. It's something we're working on. And in return, we're given something that no one's asked for. However, I think they finally understand. We have gotten to the point where, with all of these new games coming out soon, people are going to bail, and this new content has the ability to keep people in the game and bring them back. This game mode has so much potential, and I know for a fact that so many gamers and content creators, players, whoever it may be, they've given so much feedback. Because this feedback is coming from players of all skill levels, whether they're just casual players or hardcore gamers, it doesn't matter. These are things that actually all players want. So please, please, please listen. On that note, my friends, we are going to wrap up this video. Again, we will bring you a state of the game recap tomorrow. We'll let you know exactly where we're at in regards to the PTS and what we can expect moving forward. Once again, as always, thank you so much for taking the time and watching our content. You guys are awesome. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button. But most importantly, as always, take care, be kind, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.